Though that's good. Let's check out the Jacobin article on China. All right. I'm going to lead with my ignorance here and say that I would like to do deep dives on Chinese history because I'm not what I would call a history understander. I'm like a history amateur. And I have a very incomplete view of most periods of history. I'm trying to get better, but it takes work. So, I need to do the work on this. However, I'm hoping that we can still have a meaningful conversation about this piece by Jacobin. They're getting dragged in the replies and the quote tweets. And let's have my reader read, because I don't want people to think that I believe this.
In the 1920s, China's Communist Party retreated from the cities to the countryside to wage a protracted guerrilla war. This long separation from the Chinese working class fostered an autocratic culture that went on to shape the party's rule over China.
All right, so clearly there's... It doesn't make sense. Are they saying that the countryside is filled with the bourgeois? Because they were long separated from the working class after they went to the countryside? That's pretty fucking dumb, right? This covers the Jewish-Israel Pact.
This is Democracy Now!
We want to go back to this? I think we get the idea. Thank you for the link. I'm going to move along, though, unless people want me to go back to that. No! All right. So here we go. And this is a piece by Jacobin by a writer, Cap Seol, who is, I believe, an American South Korean socialist. And what I don't think I'm going to do is read the entire thing. Because if you understand and have been tracking Jacobin, you'll see that this is pretty fucked. They're not good. I think it's fair to say they carry water for empire. At least sometimes. If you think the CPC is disconnected from the working class, what does that make DSA? They're a frequent contributor to labor notes. This is the one with Bernie. For an understanding of where this piece may be coming from ideologically, one could consult
At its 2022 conference, Labor Notes promotes Democratic Party, trade union apparatus.
I almost went to this. Jacobin allows a lot of BS articles. Who the fuck is editing that? And the answer is like 36 people. How does this get through? I don't even understand how that works.
The motivations of the conference organizers, however, were entirely different. Labor Notes exists as a mechanism for promoting the Democratic Party and the trade union apparatus. Also featured were the presidents of several major unions and local functionaries. Many of the bureaucrats at Labor Notes were at the AFL-CIO convention 1 week before, where they warmly received President Biden and reaffirmed the commitment of the bureaucracy to the NATO proxy war in Ukraine. Labor Notes sought deliberately to whitewash the record of union officials who appeared at its conference, which included Stacey Davis Gates of the Chicago Teachers Union, Sarah Nelson of the Association of Flight Attendants, and Sean O'Brien of the Teamsters. They were all falsely presented to the audience as militant working-class leaders. In reality, the CTU, which Labor Notes editor Alexandra Bradbury called one of our favorite unions, is widely hated by teachers for its betrayals to force the reopening of schools during the pandemic. Nelson was a leading candidate last year for AFL-CIO president, a post which eventually went to Liz Schuler. O'Brien is a former acolyte of the notorious corrupt ex-Teamsters president James Hoffa Jr., son of the more famous Hoffa who led the union in the 1960s. He was elected president amid the lowest turnout since the union moved to direct elections of the national leadership in the 1990s, as a result of a federal takeover of the union under anti-racketeering statutes. Indeed, O'Brien threatened violence against labor notes-backed candidates from Teamsters for a Democratic Union in 2014. Now, however, they have buried the hatchet and appeared as friends on the platform in Chicago, while labor notes presented them in the best possible light. There was no discussion, except in the most perfunctory and dishonest way, of any significant political issues facing workers throughout the world. There was no discussion of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has killed more than 1 million people in the US, or the role of the unions in enforcing the back-to-work policy of the ruling class. There was no discussion of the US-NATO war against Russia, which threatens to develop into a nuclear world war. Most presentations focused on personal anecdotes and practical organizing tips, and a significant portion of the conference was taken up by singing and chanting. Panelists responded with extreme defensiveness when audience members went off message and asked inconvenient questions. One significant episode took place in an early workshop Friday morning, strike. Reviving labor's most powerful weapon, chaired by Nelson of the AFA, who has never called a meaningful strike of flight attendants.
Wow.
In the course of the 90-minute discussion, the panelists singled out for praise local Democrats who made occasional appearances at the picket line or passed toothless local bills requiring 5 days' notice for forced overtime. One audience member, unimpressed, rose and said both parties serve the rich. Why not a new workers' party, she asked. The question was also repeated by audience members at other workshops throughout the weekend. The three panelists, clearly embarrassed by the question, hemmed and hawed. Nelson then took the mic. We can't divide ourselves with politics, she said, because that only serves the owner class. If we start seeing ourselves as a working class, then we don't need a party. The party, Democrats, as well as Republicans, will come to us. Incredibly, she cited as proof of this as the multi-billion-dollar COVID bailout of the airline industry, which the AFA helped get passed. The airline industry held workers' jobs for ransom if Congress did not give them their cut of the trillion-dollar bailout package. We had a working relationship with the airlines in lobbying for it, she said. They handled the Republicans, and we handled the Democrats.
All right. I'm going to dip out of the rest of this. I think we're getting the gist here. Yeah? No? We're getting the gist of what goes down at the conference. And this person, Capsiol, is a frequent contributor to Labor Notes. And that sort of helps understand the ideology, helps you to put yourself in, helps you to sort of be a fly on the wall in this sense. So they're getting dragged in the comments. Post here from, Aaron. Post from Aaron here. The pure socialists see socialism as an ideal that was tarnished by communist venality, duplicity, and power cravings. The pure socialists oppose the Soviet model, but offer little evidence to demonstrate that other paths could have been taken, that other models of socialism, not created from one's imagination but developed through actual historical experience, could have taken hold and worked better. Is there another quote? Give him another one here. Yeah. Never mind. All right. There's another relevant quote. Why don't y'all give me a minute to find it here? I was liking a ton of tweets about this.
In the 1920s, China's Communist Party averted defeat by shifting focus from a numerically small urban working class and a strategy hinged on subordination to the bourgeois. Reliance on the peasantry allowed the Chinese proletariat to build red power in the countryside.
All right. What's this?
It's giving I hate peasants and have never studied the agrarian question.
What does that mean? The agrarian question, as in it was an agrarian society and they needed to industrialize it, or what? What is that? Oh, and the landlords were holding the land? The Agrarian Question by Stalin, 1906. Okay.
The old order is breaking up, the countryside is in upheaval. The peasantry, who only yesterday were crushed and downtrodden, are today rising to their feet and straightening their backs. The peasant movement, which only yesterday was helpless, is today sweeping like a turbulent flood against the old order. Get out of the way, or I'll sweep you away. The peasants want the landlord's land. The peasants want to abolish the remnants of serfdom. Such are the voices now heard in the rebellious villages and hamlets of Russia.
All right. Land reform movement. But that helps make sense, though, right? Kulaks. Fuck. Read it.
The land reform movement, also known by the Chinese abbreviation Tugai, was a mass movement led by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, leader Mao Zedong during the late phase of the Chinese Civil War in the early People's Republic of China, which achieved land redistribution to the peasantry. Landlords had their land confiscated and they were subjected.
That's a good thing, right? Right? All landlords are bastards? Is that right? Am I confused about something else, or is that right? The agrarian question of Marx usually is the fact that you need an industrial nation before you go socialist. All right, so I was basically on the right path. Ironically, Marx said Russia was a country not ready for socialism due to its heavy reliance on agriculture for the majority of its profits and livelihood. All right, that makes sense. All right, so this is a good thing. I keep reading.
Mass killing by the CCP and former tenants, with the estimated death toll ranging from hundreds of thousands to millions.
I don't know about that.
The campaign resulted in hundreds of millions of peasants receiving a plot of land for the first time.
All right. Ups and downs there, I guess. That fucking sucks. Why some Russians thought that they were supposed to wait until Germany went first. Oh. Oh. They were like, hey, we'll do a revolution here, but over in Germany they got industrialization. Why don't they have themselves a revolution? And I guess it wasn't happening. All right, so then what? Marx and Lenin read the room. They're like, all right, y'all are fucking this up. Kautskyites. Is that right? And then they supported the revolution in the Russian Revolution, 1917. Is that about it? I'm trying to wrap my head around this, so feel free to correct me. No. No. Homie, the Holodomor's not real.
The Holodomor was not real.
It's literally a Nazi myth. Please don't do this. Every fucking day I gotta push against Nazi myths in my chat. You put the fucking quotes around the wrong word, homie. Every day with this Nazi shit, dude. Every day. All right, do we feel like we got an idea of here what's going on? The agrarian question. Yeah, working class people famous for not living in the countryside. Yeah, imagine claiming they were not working class. Western, I like this framing here. The Western boutique left. Yet again revealing its inch-deep understanding of the working class, other countries, and revolutionary struggle. I think that tweet goes hard. Yeah, just out of curiosity, why did they retreat to the countryside? Yeah, how about that? Jacobin, the official magazine of the anti-communist left, would like you to know the very successful government in China is bad, bad, bad. Only bad people would lift 800 million people out of poverty. That's right. Over the last few decades, China has lifted 800 to 900 million people out of extreme poverty. The United States can only dream of that. Could only dream of dropping bombs on the entire country. This is an interesting take here. Wang Fengxi, previously best known to English language readers for his books Memoirs of a Chinese Revolutionary, a vivid account of 3 decades of political activism between 1919 and 1949. It's not a myth. Okay, you're doing Nazi apologia. Get the fuck out of my chat. You don't deserve my energy. I've already told you you're doing Nazi apologia. You're just going to double down on my chat just by saying it's not a myth. Yo, repeating yourself does not make something true. Go fucking push your Nazi apologia in Dylan Burns' chat. I'm sure Vaush is going to love it, homie. I'm sure you got a great fucking podcast. Fucking empire cuck. British colonial authorities soon deported him to Macau, where, as he wrote in 1957, Wang had more than a little time to think about recent Chinese history. His memoir and Mao Zedong thought were the result of his enforced period of reflection. Hey, Rights and Wrongs podcast. Yo, fuck it, dude. Go fuck yourself. Most of Wang's comrades in the Chinese Trotskyist movement were arrested by Mao's secret police in the early 1950s. Yo, when we talk about the compatible left, we're talking about people like you, homie. You just are so happy to buy into Empire's lies about Soviet Russia. You're such a fucking cuck, dude. If no one's paying you to carry war for Empire, you should be embarrassed to do it for free, homie. Go get wrecked. Go read Jacobin, loser. It's perfect for you. I bet you're gonna love listening to Keffel's reactionary trash. Yo, reactionaries can just literally get the fuck wrecked. And I don't know why they think they can come into my chat and then like literally ignore all the research we've done on my channel. Well, no, it's not a myth. Fuck you. My God. Bet you love your DSA meetings. Western leftist, I haven't started shit to overthrow capitalism, but Russia and China did it wrong. Exactly. Exactly. I don't understand what it's like to stand up to hegemony and what it's like to actually do good things for your people at the same time. And then they swallow every myth about Russia. They swallow every myth about China that's thrown their way. They bite for it every fucking time. How are you going to fall for Empire's lies every fucking time? I bet you believe there's a genocide in China too, you piece of shit. You believe anything they tell you. Anything. You have no sense of skepticism for Empire's lies. You don't even know. The part of it is like you don't know how to track their narratives. So you don't know when they're lying to you because they're just trying to fit shit into their narrative. You're such a dumb fuck, man. That's what no theory and no fucking material analysis, no Marxism does to a motherfucker. Yeah, this is it.
Love taking criticisms from a publication whose big idea is to try to take over the most advanced capitalist party to try to push for social democracy.
Yo, if you believe the Holodomor lie, you believe anything Empire tells you. I bet you believe there were mass weapons of mass destruction in 2002 or whatever. You'll believe anything, you dumb shit. I bet you believed that there was a genocide going on in Libya. You would have totally been like, yay, can we please have UN warships bomb the shit out of Libya? I hate that Gaddafi guy. I'll believe anything the West tells me. I'm such a dumbass. You'll fall for anything. These people who fall for anything want to browbeat you for being like, no, that's not true. The fuck out of here. Go back to your baby table. You can sit in your little baby chair with your little bib and the fucking plate because you throw your food all over the place because you're a baby. You don't know how to handle yourself. Fucking spaghetti all over your face like a baby. Go back to your fucking baby streams. I don't know why you think I'm into your fucking dumbass Empire's takes. I'm just gonna push Empire's narrative in Dan's chat and hopefully he doesn't call me out for it. Get the fuck out of here. I fucking subsist on demolishing Empire's narratives. It is a true joy. The imperialist compatible left. We're talking about you, Rights and Wrongs podcast. You're the imperialist compatible left. You're laughed at in actual communist spaces. You're a reactionary. Reactionaryism is a right-wing ideology. Get the fuck out of here. What other Nazi fucking myths do you believe? Is that the only one?
Mask off moment for Jacobin. Ignore the fact that the peasants were 90% of the population in China. Jacobins, DSA, are Nazis who despise the countryside and the majority of the people who are not part of their leftist hipsterism in America, China, and everywhere else.
Yeah, that's about you, homie. It's about your dumb fucking podcast. Is that a real podcast? Hey, guys. Holy shit. Look at this fash. On today's show, we'll examine the selfish mentality that fuels the transgender movement. What a piece of shit. This is literal fash. Literal fash, bro. You fucking Nazi. Just literal fash shit. What a dumb fuck. Oh my god, dude. Jesus Christ. They're not sending their best. They're not sending their best. Fucking baby brains, y'all. They're like, hey, Dan, I know you were in the middle of pushing back against Empire's narratives, but did you know that there's this other Empire narrative? The Holodomor? God, you people are such fucking idiots. You literally are pushing a Nazi conspiracy, and then we realize that you're just literally pretty similar to the Nazis. Did you know that, you probably know that Nazis burned libraries? Maybe you do, and maybe you don't know that Nazis burned a library on gender research, aka destroying the biggest collection of transgender research at that time. So did you know that you share a lot with Nazis? Rights and Wrong podcast? And when you come into my chat, pushing these Nazi-ass myths, you prove me right. You've just empowered me. You're so fucking dumb, dude. Nazis are literally the dumbest people on the planet. Oh, Dan, I'm not a Nazi. Fuck yeah. You're Nazi adjacent, bro, at best. You probably show me the tattoos. Show me the patches. Show me the tattoos. Show me the patches. I bet you got a thin blue line flag at home. And you're going to come in here and prove me right. I get to show my entire chat that literal right-wingers are coming into my chat disagreeing with my takes about the Holodomor, proving me right. The fuck out of here. Easy. GG. R.I.P. bozo. Fash trash. Oh, they couldn't stick around.